Tanika? Move it a little to the right. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on another live stream episode of cTalkTV. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button right here, just so you can stay up to date on different content, new content that we have coming up very, very soon. So don't forget, hit the subscribe button. It's right here. It's going to be right here the whole entire show. As always, we have fun, exciting, thought-provoking topics for you guys today. And also we have 3 guests here today. Number 1 is Tanika, aka T Seals. She's very, very shy right now. We have Lami, she's the millennial mother. Is that how you say it?
Millennial mother.
Okay. And then right back there we have Sir Ike, aka the Observer. Aka one of the members of Shepherd Knights. So today, just real quick, so all the viewers, if you're unable to chat, make sure you're using the YouTube link, the actual YouTube app, and also make sure you hit the chat button on the YouTube channel. So that's the only way you'll be able to interact with us in chat. We just want to make sure you're able to share your viewpoints on the different topics we have here today, okay? And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. All right, so y'all ready for the topics? Yeah? All right. So first topic we have today talks about disciplining your child. We're trying to find what the thin line is between discipline and child abuse. We saw a video earlier that sparked the topic, and we're going to go ahead and play that for the viewers real quick. Just so they can be on the same page.
Now look at the kids that you brought.
George.
Huh? You know what's going to happen to you with stupid 2 or 3 certificates? You're supposed to have 1. I told you many times, you didn't want to listen.
George, stop beating them, come on.
This is stupidity. You can't be saying stop beating them. You know what this means.
I know it does, but why are you beating them?
I told you this is a scar on your entire life. Even if you come and pass your next sitting, you have 2. Do you know the reputation this stupid thing gives you? Huh? Do you know the reputation it gives you? You're a big boy, you can't read. You can't read.
George, come on, don't do that.
You can't read. So why the hell do you come back with results like you can't read? 9. You can't stop talking to me. Understand?
Stop beating him now.
You understand? You can't talk to me again about your results. Don't give any excuses. This one. Do not
come on, you.
To keep you guys there. You. Honestly. How much money I spend photocopying, sending money for books, that tuition fees. Shit. You come on results like you never went to school, you lost the whole year, and then you go and sit for results. That's the result you bring in this house. In this house. Huh? You even have the audacity of refusing when I send you to do money work.
George,
you refuse.
Come on.
Look at the results you brought. You idiot. You're the eldest boy. I've told you many times. You don't listen. Listen here.
Okay, so this fellow is pretty upset. He spends $21,000 a year on each child, and they show up and didn't show up to no classes, failed all their classes except for 2 classes, music and geography. I know I'll be pretty upset. My question to y'all is, did he take it too far? In terms of, like, was it discipline? Was it child abuse?
If I paid that much for my child to go to school and she didn't go to class and then failed classes, I would be pretty upset. I don't feel like he went overboard when he grabbed his head and, you know, stuff like that. However, I feel like posting that online to diminish his character and literally show him getting abused or beaten or disciplined or whatever by his father, I feel like that part was a little too much. I feel like he could have kept that in the privacy of his home, or whoever was reporting could have kept that in the home space.
But you're a parent, right?
I am a parent.
Okay,
too.
so for you as a parent, how would you discipline your child if that was you?
So I'll make a little disclaimer. So I got my ass beat as a child. And I was a child who, you know, didn't go to school sometimes or failed some classes sometimes. So I got my ass beat. But I know how it feels to, you know, get hit in the face and popped in the mouth and things like that. So sometimes history can repeat itself. So there have been times when I have popped my daughter in the mouth, knowing that I said when I was pregnant with her, I'm not gonna do this as a parent, I'm not gonna do that. But sometimes these kids will take you there. And she takes me there, because right now, since we are social distancing and they're not going to school, she is failing some of the shit that she's taking in class. So sometimes I'm ready to beat her ass, but I still have to understand that she's still a child, even though she's like right here to me, she's still a child. But I wouldn't bust her up like that, you know, and especially I wouldn't record, because I don't want her to see herself getting embarrassed. That's embarrassing. Everybody can see you get your ass beat.
Yeah.
You know how you have your parents come up to the school, they slap you in front of everybody. That's like heartbreaking,
Yeah,
you know? So
it is.
I don't know, for me, I feel like that was a little bit too much. So the way I would have handled it, I would have said some things, and also he did verbally abuse him. So I think the verbal abuse is more, it sticks a little bit more as opposed to the physical abuse. So I feel like that in its own was something that could hurt more than the physical. And I think that's a route that I probably would have taken. I would have been so mad and so upset that I may have said something, just because that's what I know from how, you know, what my mom did to me. I would probably say something that's a little rude. Yeah. But I would have posted, you know.
How about you, Miss Tanika?
So, disclaimer, I don't have any kids. However, I feel like that was abuse. Like, I got whoopings as a kid, and I didn't like it. So when I have kids, I do not want to put that same feelings on them. So I know that as humans, we become accustomed to doing the things that we saw as kids. So it's like, my mom beat me, so the only thing I know to discipline my kids is to beat them. And I don't want that to be the case for my kids. So I don't know how I'm gonna deal with it, but I don't think putting your hands on kids or verbally abusing them is something that's gonna make them stronger. So
With his situation, though, you gotta think about the fact that
I'm taking into consideration that he's spending a lot of money, but there's other ways to do that. Because I'm pretty sure this isn't his first time treating his kid like that. Maybe he's acting up because he wants attention in a different way. Who knows? But that was a bit much. So.
You feel the same way I?
Number one, you guys keep saying they spent a lot of money. $21,000 is not a lot of money. That's a shit ton of money.
Okay.
Let's just say, oh, big honor.
Now, there's a difference between a lot of money and a shit ton of, that's university fees right there.
Yeah.
We're talking high school.
Yeah.
I guess at that point, we need to sit down and assess, like, why is he not going to school? Is he being bullied? Do he not like his teachers? Like, is he not learning in a manner in which he can learn it? Like, you just have to sit down and have conversations with kids. Like, and at that age, he's old enough to tell you, this is what my issue is. This is what my issue is not. And I feel like he don't feel like he have that vulnerability with his father to sit there and say, hey, Dad, I'm getting picked on. Hey, Dad, I don't like the environment. Like, he doesn't have that security with his dad, so he acts out in other manners.
I feel like too, another thing is you have to know these are African parents.
Yeah, and that's the other disconnect for me with that.
They don't even care. So having African parents and growing, I don't think, well, he's in a different country, correct? Both
Yeah, I think it's Gambia.
Okay, so I can't say he's living the best of different worlds, like living two different worlds since he's in the country where his father's from. But I do feel like African parents, they do things so differently that, you know, they don't care about having conversations. They don't care if you're bullied at school. They don't care if you can't learn. They don't believe in dyslexia and things of that nature. So I feel like it would have to come from a place where they too understand that these things actually happen to where they can, I guess, properly address the situation. Because he probably doesn't give a damn if his child is getting bullied or, you know.
Yeah, but I guess that in the climate that we're in now, we can take that feeling and that emotions that they receive from their parents and try to figure out what I'm doing, try to figure out how to change it. Try to make it to where my kid don't go through the exact same things I've been through.
I feel like with that, you have to get there because I said it.
Yeah, definitely. That's a different avenue you can take.
Yeah, I had a journal and I took it out, I took the page out and I put it in my daughter's scrapbook and I said everything that I want to do to her. I will allow her to express herself. I will allow her to tell me things. And she does tell me, you know, Mommy, I really don't like the way that you did X, Y, Z. In the heat of the moment, I don't care, but I have to go back and I have to sit and remember this is what happened to me.
How did you get to that point? Like, something conscious because of how you were disciplined?
Because I know how it feels. When you know how something feels, like let's say for instance, I'm in a violent relationship, like domestic violence and everything like that, and I know that this man that I'm with is hurting me, and I have a son. Would I want my son to see that so he can go and repeat it? I know how it feels to get my ass beat by a man. And if my son knows that, will he purposely do that to the child? Even though he's like, he loves me, he doesn't want to see me get hurt, he could turn around still and get that, you know, do that same thing to the woman that he loves. Unless he gets therapy to understand that this is not how you react when somebody does something that you don't like or when somebody does something that you can't control. You literally have to heal and work these things through your head. You have to have somebody assist you to work these things out to where you don't repeat the same thing. Because just because I got whoopings like that, it was like borderline abuse. I don't want to do that to my child, but sometimes you can do it without knowing that. I don't want to hit her. I don't feel like kids should get whoopings and stuff like that, but in the heat of the moment, you never know what you're capable of doing.
So my thing with whoopings is that when you whoop a child, you will instill in fear, right? So what happens once that child isn't scared of you anymore? They retaliate, they bounce back, like exactly.
I think the opposite. What happens when that child stays afraid of you and they're growing up in life and because one thing a parent wants is their child to come up and talk to them about real life shit, right?
But if they're scared, how they gonna do that?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like if you're able to successfully instill fear in your child, they're not gonna talk to you about the things that you would want.
Exactly.
So that's that balance.
I'll just wait for you guys.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, two things. First, we're making a lot of assumptions about the kid and his father and abuse, and you have to take it in context. We're here in America. How many of you guys grew up in Nigeria or grew up in Africa? I'm not going to talk from the point of parenthood because I'm not a parent. So I'll start what you're saying. But then again, you guys cannot talk in that context because you haven't grown up in that environment. So you grew up here, where I could just tap you and you can call 911, and that's the end of it. So and two, context-wise, if you grew up in Nigeria, you realize. I mean, I went to King's College, and I might be mistaken. My school fees was probably like 5,000 naira or 10,000 naira. I could take that out of my pocket right now and look at my school fees. So when I say $21,000, it's a crap ton of money. You can understand the man's frustrations. But then again, I still feel like it's a man's fault. I still think it's his mother's fault because if you grew up in Nigeria, again, I'm saying it too much, you would understand that a school that takes that kind of money sends weekly reports to the house, calls the parents all the time. There is no way that boy went through an entire year and came up with that kind of result without the parents knowing what was going on. People might say things like he was forging results or Nah, schools like that, they're going to have relationships with the parents. My school did not because it was federal money. They were just stacking kids with like 100, 120 in the classroom. That kind of school with $200,000 probably has like 10, 15 people max in the classroom.
So why do you say it was the mom's fault?
The parents' fault because they were not tracking him.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were not following whatever reports they were getting from, because I'm 99% sure the school has contacted parents multiple times. So they must have had an idea of what he was going through, or they just ignored it.
So are you okay with how he disciplined the child?
With how he disciplined him, if they had gone through all I just talked about and he still came up with that result, yeah, I don't think it was abuse if they went through all that.
What makes it not abuse? Well, I guess it would be what's your definition of abuse? Like, what do you consider to be abuse?
I mean, he did cross the line at the end, dragging his hair. And all
So is that not abuse or is it?
that part was, but you could see that the father was more frustrated. Abuse is like, you really want to hurt this child. You really, I mean, it's possible, like when I was growing up, when my parents beat me, my mom would come back and tell me why she beat me.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to beat me and again putting scars on me. Now when you start putting scars on the child, yeah, of course it's abuse. My dad probably abused me a few times using glues,
I'm wondering. But the thing is that even though the scars aren't physically seen, doesn't mean they're not there.
Again,
Have you ever just been slapped like
That she slapped at you, like.
slap?
look.
That's so disrespectful. The way that you can feel after you got your ass slapped.
I get what you were saying, but again, we're still coming from quote-unquote American mentality.
But why does it?
No, I wouldn't say that, because if you look back in the history of America, people, like teachers were actually beating kids, parents beat kids. That was a normal thing, but they changed it because they started paying attention to the mental aspect of growing up and things like that. And what is, again, the thin line between child abuse and discipline? Because there's a thin line,
Okay, now
right?
let me hit you from this standpoint. I'm a teacher.
Okay.
I teach engineering and computer science. Now in the school I'm at, there's a reason why the kids who are doing well in school are the Asians and the Nigerian kids. I'm not talking black kids, the Nigerian kids. There's a reason. Why do you think that is? You see all these other people. Yeah, there's also the whole socioeconomic thing where parents probably graduate from high school. Yeah, that aside. Then there are some, the parents just don't place that value in education like Asians or Nigerians would. So it's the same thing. So it doesn't matter the cycle, whatever. If the parents is not involved in the kids' education, and a lot of when we're growing up in Nigeria or wherever, a lot of our parents are not like really in your education. You just pay your school fees.
Right.
The teachers are pretty much doing the whole thing, and that's why sometimes they're allowed to whoop your ass in school. The teacher is pretty much your parents when you get to school, especially if you're born in school. So a lot of parents are not like really in tracking your weekly stuff. Maybe they'll come once a month or once in 3 months for PTA, but they're not in your weekly stuff.
Yeah, I noticed somebody in the chat mentioned, I can't remember who it was, they mentioned how well do the parents know the child, and that's the most important factor. If you're involved in your child's daily activities, you know how they're progressing with their studies and things like, what their weak
So
points
let me say
and
this.
what the strong points are.
So, with my daughter, there's a platform called Skyward. And with Skyward, they track everything, all their grades, everything. So I have definitely been the parent once or twice. She's in 6th grade now. I've definitely been that parent that goes up there when the progress report, the report card comes home. Why y'all didn't tell me that, she made this grade? Why y'all didn't? And I'm ready to go off on the teachers. But sis, we told you for the last 9 weeks, we told you that your child was not doing so well. We, sent you like little messages or whatever. I don't check Skyward. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't check Skyward, but I do send out emails to my daughter's teachers and I ask like for updates. Even though they're doing that, it's just I can't get with all that Skyward stuff because you literally have to log in and it's just too much. It's really not, but I'm lazy. So, I don't really check it that often. But they are, can I really be mad at the teachers? Can I really, I was a class clown. So is it so far-fetched to think that my daughter is like this perfect angel when she goes to school and she's probably having trouble and she's not asking questions? No, she probably giving it to these niggas like I was. So I'm looking at it like, when you said like, how well do you really know your child? I really don't outside of my house. She can be a total different person outside of the house. Am I gonna have these conversations with her when I do get the grades back? Yes. Am I gonna be mad and frustrated? I can't be too mad because I didn't do the work, the necessary work to figure out like what's going on in school. How is she doing? What's, her day to day. You see what I'm saying? So I'm that parent. I might be just like them.
A lot of parents are seeing their real children now because they got to go to school.
So as a parent though, do you know your child's strong points and weak points?
I
Do you
do.
know their
I
character
do.
flaws, the things that they're...
No parent knows their child that well.
Not that well, but you figure things out along the way. You do. Probably her personality.
And because even for you as a teacher, I'm sure you have students and you can see what the strong, you get different versions of at school or at home. You see the strong.
Oh yeah, definitely. And again, everybody has the face you give in front of your parents.
Yeah.
The part you show your parents.
Yeah.
You can pretty much hide your entire school personality at home. I mean now, no, not anymore because now you're with your parents 24 hours a day.
They still hide it.
I mean, you still got to go to work. Exactly. So, maybe now parents are starting to understand their kids more.
Still no, because we still talking about it. At some point, you gonna get your ass beat in this house. I can't whip your ass at school, but you either gonna, I'm gonna give it to you at home, not like beat her ass, but at the same time, she's not gonna do the same thing she does at school, at home. Everybody has a different personality. Like I may have a different personality with you that I may have with my Spanish friends or my, my hood rat friends or my super upper echelon classy friends. Everybody has a different personality with everyone. So you never really know who people really truly are unless you observe them when there's no one around. That's who they truly are.
So, but back to what I would do if my kid felt, I'm about to drop something that I've never actually talked about. Unless you went to school with me, you probably never knew about it, unless you're my brother or my sister. I repeated the class in high school. But then again, the reason why it worked out for me is because number one, I came to high school, I started secondary school at like 8 and a half or like 9. So I was pretty much the youngest person when I came to high school. But because of one thing or another, not going to class, whatever, I didn't get all the credits and I had to repeat the class. Now, I didn't feel at that point level because I would have gone home. To be very honest with you, if I had that result, I would not go home. My parents were going to have to find me. No, like you think I'm playing, but that's really what's going to have to happen.
And that's why I want to instill safety in my kids.
Like, your kids have to have a healthy fear of you. If you want to,
like I said, I don't have kids, but in my head.
Yeah, well, when they're young, you're not their friend. You're supposed to be their parent, not their friend.
I get that.
As they grow older, then you can instill that. But they gotta have a healthy fear of you if you want to get anything done.
It's about respect. Like it's a respect thing.
You don't think there's some small level of fear that comes with respect?
Small, very small.
Yeah, they gotta
not from getting their ass beat.
Yeah.
Or the fear of getting their ass beat.
But that's what it is. It really is.
So,
growing up, but I wasn't just like, ooh, I'm not gonna do this because I'm gonna get my ass beat. It's just like I'm gonna get my ass beat, take this L, and do whatever it is that I want to do next.
Going based on what you just said, Lynn in the chat said a bad kid doesn't change their behavior from beating. So at this point, if you're beating the child, it's out of your own frustration rather than
really
modifying the behavior.
That comes from when you beat the child a lot, though.
Well, no, one time could be a lot. Like you never know.
Everybody's different. Everybody,
one time is not a lot.
To you,
depends on if I got my hair pulled, drag like how this boy got his head dragged.
That's a lot. For one time.
Man, I maybe I'm just talking from my own standpoint. From my own standpoint.
I think because your upbringing, how you, because you grew up like
it's gonna be different.
Right. So your perspective on what is acceptable, which I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's okay to be the child in order to correct their actions, right?
If you're correct, if it's for correcting their actions, nothing but frustration.
If that's not correcting the action at that point, what do you do as a parent? Is I guess what we should.
Yeah, like I was saying, for me, first off, that kid's summer is over. First off, like whatever fun you thought you were gonna have in the summer summer is gone.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to make up all those credits somehow.
Right.
So, but I don't think I would be. Personally, from what I've gone through teaching teenagers and pretty much young adults, I know that if I haven't beaten this kids right now, I'm probably not going to beat my kids.
Is there anything that you've done as a teacher that was effective in correcting the students' actions, in motivating them to want to be better? Or at least
I did. I mean, well, first off, you got to get their trust. They got to know that you're there.
All right.
They have to know that regardless of whatever is going to happen, you're not going to give up on them.
Would you trust somebody that beat on you? Would you trust somebody that beat on you?
Good question.
If sometimes I know when I've been bad.
But I'm saying, would you
I know
trust
when I deserve an ass whooping. And if that person gives me an ass whooping, I'm not going to take it personally.
So
When I was a kid, this is straight up. There was sometimes I had two uncles. One was straight up abusive. The other only beat me when I was like, I deserve this shit.
So okay, I think the disconnect is the abuse word.
Yeah, no, but I think sometimes you know when you deserve this shit.
okay, but this is the thing too. When a child does something wrong, it's like you feel like you have to whoop them, or like a dog. Like when dogs are getting trained, they pop them a little bit to say no, you can't pee on the floor like that. So the thing is, when we're in our work settings, why is it that if one of my employees does something, I can't go up to her if I've told her several times, like, Cindy, don't send this email in a blast and BCC people, why can't I go beat her ass?
Okay, well let's get starting from the dog. First of all, it's all connected. I mean,
Okay.
the same way you train a dog, technically the same way you train a child, because I did not really beat him. But when you think about it,
Wait. The same way you train a dog, the same way you train a child. Alright, I just want to make sure I heard you right.
You don't have kids, right?
I don't have kids. Well, I do have like 100 kids. Let's go take it out. But still, when you beat a dog, you don't just go beating. When you train a dog, you don't just go beating the dog. When the dog goes shitting and pissing or whatever on the carpet, you drag that dog to where he pissed that shit and you tap him there. He knows this is the reason why you're doing it, as opposed to just whooping the dog's ass.
And so what happens when the dog does it again? And then they do it again?
If you do it 2 or 3 times, it's not going to do it again.
That's a
Have you
lot.
never had a dog?
Had a dog.
You never had a dog before?
Yes, I've had a dog and I had to put some face in some shit a bunch of times.
I don't know what you do, boy. When you show you the reason why you're whooping the dog, it's not going to do it. Or if you tell me what it's supposed to be doing, if you drag it to the door, whenever I be like, stay here. If I see you here, I'm going to open the door. The point is that the dog knows why you're leaving it. That's the point.
That's what you think, but here's the thing though. I think all in all when it comes to discipline, it's all about repetitive action. Like, just like if you want to learn something, you do it over and over again. If you want to train a dog or train a child or whatever it may be,
I like to
it has a lot of... Like if you want to train a dog or teach a child, whatever that thing that it is, whatever that lesson is you're trying to instill, it comes with a lot of repetition that I don't think people are ready for. Like take the dad for instance. I'm not saying he's right or wrong. I don't know the background, information, the context of it all. But what I can say is, okay, we know that he's a corporate level cat. He works for a big corporation. Maybe he's too busy to know what's going on with his child. I don't know what the mom does. Maybe she's busy as well. But obviously they learn about his situation at the last minute. They were too consumed with their lives to really be tapping into what's going on with their child.
And that's the reason why
I'm not going to blame fault. I just think it's one of those situations where it was a lot of money spent, but it's also a lesson learned. Beating a child isn't going to fix the situation. Having a constructive conversation and understanding where that child's head is at, I think needs to happen. Because for one, he passed 2 classes, music and geography.
So he liked you.
Hey, not a lot of people know where countries are on the map. I'm serious.
he got a C. He didn't. He
passed. That's all.
I don't know if I'm going to call that passing. No, but seriously, for that point, that was the only reason why I didn't feel like the boy deserved that kind of beating. Because when you think about the school fees that the man paid, there is no way in hell they got to that point without someone reaching out to the parents.
Yeah.
So it's more of a neglect thing on the parents.
Yeah, and
the boy probably feels the same way. That look, you haven't cared about my stuff all year long. Why am I getting this now?
Yeah.
that's why I said the thing about the cry for help thing, because we don't know what's going on. Like maybe this is the only time his parents are like, oh yeah, let me pay attention to my son because I'm spending all this money, so my focus is on
Exactly. And that's the same thing that happened when I told her in class, like, again, when I was in high school, they're not gonna call your parents for anything. They're gonna leave you behind. Like, don't tell me my homework. Fine, whatever. We just get to 0 and move on with life.
Yeah.
So when my parents saw that result and saw that I wasn't going to class, it wasn't because, in fact, after they asked me, they came and asked me why.
Yeah.
I'm not going to class. It's not like you don't know this stuff, because I know you know this stuff. You just weren't going to class. So now he brought them, my mom, to actually start tracking what I was doing. So when I came back the next year and did the same thing, did the year again, I blew through that year. Because my mom was on me the entire time. She was like, okay, the first time we went tracking what we were doing, even though the teachers are not telling me what's going on, when you come home or when I come see you in boarding school, you're going to show me what you've been doing. So hopefully the same thing happened to this kid. Parents realize, look, we need to pay more attention to them.
Yeah. That's what's up. So we're going to change it up a little bit, head on to the next topic. It's going to be focused on y'all girls. Quick question for y'all.
Thank you.
Females, sorry.
Definitely women, not female.
Oh, women? I'm sorry.
Definitely women.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. So why do women, or some women, criticize non-dominant men? Or how would you define a soft man?
But soft men don't pay bills.
Wow.
Well, what's the definition of a soft man?
I'm almost insulted by that.
What does a soft man do? Like, what is a soft man? What do you consider to be a
That's
soft
what
man?
I'm asking y'all.
Yeah, but I can't answer that because I don't know what y'all consider
What's
to
a
be a
soft
soft
man
man.
to you as a woman?
Do you mean like a beta male? Or not like so...
How we going?
Yeah, so passive in a way. Here's the
We're going to
quote.
have to construct that soft man.
Here's the quote. It says, her boyfriend can be a bitch sometimes. She wants him to submit. No. She wants to submit to him, but he will not be dominant. And she can run all over him sometimes, well, a lot of times, call him a bitch, and he won't do anything about it, just sit there, watch TV, and she's like, yo, what the fuck do I do to get my man to be a man?
That's kind of a reflection on her. If she's calling him a bitch and stuff like that, like what kind of reaction do you want from that? You want him to just be like, all right, what you
Toxic. That's a toxic woman right there.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, because hers is
I
like,
First of all, leave his ass. Go get you a Jamaican. Or a hood nigga or somebody with a lot of money and power. Because you're not going to get that from a man that wants to play PS5. Or what is it, PS5, right? It's PS5.
Yeah, it's for work.
Oh,
So if you got a man, you better start saving up for that.
So that's what I feel like she should. If you feel like you can walk all over your man, and how can you submit to somebody who you feel can't lead you? For one, women submit to men that they feel either he's beating her ass, and they can submit to that, or they feel they can submit to a man that has some sort of power. So if she feels like she can just walk all over him, sis, why are you there? Is she watching?
I feel like there has to be some type of balance when it comes to men's femininity and women's. I feel like men should be able to be vulnerable to women and to be the little spoon sometimes. So I'm kind of like...
to be the little spoon.
Yeah, like men, they need love too. They need to be hugged, they need to be cuddled. Like, they need somebody to listen to them when they're going through stuff too. Like, we can't just put this whole, you gotta be a man all the time. Like, that's just dead.
That's human.
No,
It's people assume that feeling things is a feminine emotion. It's not. Men should be able to feel. I don't believe in like that toxic masculinity and that over hyper masculine, like macho superman type thing. I feel like men should be able to feel. That's why women at times they get frustrated when a man doesn't open up and express themselves. You know what I mean? Because from when they're younger, and I have a son too. So when he wants to feel something, feel it. If he's 4, but when he's 10, feel that.
But when he doesn't feel it the way that you feel like a man should feel,
How should a man feel?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, people were saying
based
that.
on what we just read, it sounds like she wants a reaction.
It sounds like
She wants a new man.
She can leave him
No,
alone.
like she wants. So she's calling her man a bitch, and he's just not reacting to what she's saying.
Not everybody's gonna be, react to those types
Yeah.
of
So
things.
does that make him a soft man because he won't react?
Or does it make him a strong man because he don't feed into
What if he
that?
really wanna knock her ass?
Exactly, and he's holding all that back. Like
Because
that's
we don't know how he grew up or what his, what he experienced in his household. So maybe he's just like, yo, I'm gonna make it a point to not react.
Yeah, I think
He
the
ain't
whole
gonna be too many
submitting
bitches
thing,
now.
the whole submitting thing, when a woman says she wants to submit to a man, I think it's more of, okay, you said you have to submit to someone who can lead, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just more, I think the whole soft man thing is more of an indecisive man, or someone who feels like they cannot take charge of the situation, or they can't react well to certain stimuli in their lives.
And that is okay. Like
No, what I'm saying is, for example, every time you're trying to make something to better both of you, the man cannot make a decision. How do you follow something like that? That's different. But what the question was, that particular question is, this does not apply. She wants a toxic man.
I wouldn't say she wants a toxic man. I wouldn't say that.
Oh,
I
she
would
wants
say
a
that
toxic
she
man.
That's a straight up toxic man.
there's no-
how did they even get together in the first place?
She's saying she wants an aggressive man. She wants somebody that's a little bit more aggressive. Is aggression always toxic, though?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I guess it's a bit.
The fact that she wants that argument, like, if I call you a bitch, you gotta do something.
I think
That's
she's
toxic
calling her a bitch now
masculinity.
because she's noticed that you don't flinch for anything. You don't move for anything. Now
It's
I'm
more
calling you
of
a
a-
bitch to where it's like, let me see if you'll move for that.
I agreed. It's more of this man he doesn't care about me than aggressive.
That's why I told her.
Is that nonchalant? Like at that point, if you keep insulting at that point, I'm just gonna be like, whatever, man.
But when you
Because I'm exactly that man.
So from a subjective standpoint, what would you consider soft man?
I'm free. Like I said, I like men to be able to be vulnerable, to be able to compliment another man, like without feeling like, oh, he's gay, he's sweet on him. Like it's just.
So is an affectionate, what's the word I'm trying to say? An affectionate man, is that soft to you, or is that's just?
He said, so are you saying there's nothing like a soft man to you?
Yeah.
No, I don't consider people to be soft. I consider them to be fluid. Like, you can be soft, you can be hard. Like, whatever is for you, that's for you. Who am I to say, oh, you have to do this way because that's what constitutes you to be a man? Like, that's ridiculous.
Okay, Tamika, well, let's put it this way. From you, we're talking about you now.
Mhm.
The person that you want to see yourself with.
She's saying that she doesn't consider it soft.
No.
Like
No,
she
but what
just,
would you, if you were with someone, what would make you be like, the hell is this, man?
Well, I guess for me, what aspect are you talking about?
Just me. Like, what would make you feel like,
'cause so
what is this, man? Like this.
when you look at the characteristics of a soft man and then let's say an aggressive man, are there distinctive features for you, or are you just like, just don't pay attention to that kind of
I
stuff?
feel like when people are put in certain situations, they can either become the alpha or they can step back. So it just depends on what situation they put themselves in. Because some people can lead very well in certain situations that they know a lot about, and people who don't know much about that situation can follow well. So it just depends on where they are. Like, what aspect do I need him to be the stronger one? What aspect is it okay for me to be the stronger one and him to be the lesser? Like, it's just about balance.
And that's what you mean by fluid being.
Yeah, fluid. Like, you have to know what, okay, I can lead this, but I can't lead this. So I would rather be with someone who knows how to say, I can't lead this and fucking lead me the wrong way because they thought that I wanted them to be this macho man that can lead me. When in reality, I could have led that better and would have got a better outcome.
Gotcha.
So.
Miss Millennium Mother?
So I feel like that whole soft, strong, or soft or aggressive thing typically comes from the confidence that women want their men to have. So a man that is super confident is like, you look at that man, you just like, damn. It makes you want to feel like, let me just become what he wants. Some women feel that way and some women don't. And some women feel like I can submit to that. So if a man, for instance, we want to go on a date, like or we do dates. He just like, well, you know, wherever you want to go. I don't want that. I want somebody who knows, like, okay, we're going to Maestro's, get dressed, be there. Sometimes women want men to take initiative in doing certain things for them or with them or for themselves. So a soft man to me, I wouldn't even necessarily call it like soft, just not my type, rather.
So she needs a Jamaican.
I'll tell you. Okay, go.
Okay, so I was saying, I posted something on Facebook a couple weeks ago that said, you know, I want a man that can air this bitch out behind me with no questions asked. Do I really want a man that's gonna shoot up the place? No. But if it ever came down to that and somebody disrespected me, I want a man who will be like, who are you talking to behind me? You see what I'm saying? That's like a man that's like, you know?
I mean, what if he just says, baby, let's just walk away? See what I'm saying?
You don't want that. You want somebody that's gonna.
or at least incite fear in somebody else. Like, I want a man that can incite a little fear because I have a big personality and a big ass mouth. So sometimes I can say things that people might, you know.
So you need a personality that's gonna merge with what you.
You're gonna need a man that can fight.
You need physicalness is gonna merge with your.
They say opposites attract, so I'm not gonna say that I need somebody to air this bitch out, but it would be nice, you know, every now and then just to incite fear. That's why I love men that are like 6'1" and above, because it's like at least they're kind of towering down at some people.
So
a little bit.
What exactly is wrong with Ike's take on?
I don't even know what you said after.
He's
When he was like, baby, come on, listen, I just.
You gonna have to fight somebody.
I have no problem with fights because I'm rowdy.
Right.
Sometimes I need somebody to just be like, all right, baby, like, this ain't it. Like, you're doing too much right now. But at the same time, when he gets rowdy, I want to be able to be like, all right, baby, you're doing too much. Like, it has to balance itself out. Like, and so for the whole, I've been holding this in. It's like a very thin line when it comes to dudes that like to set up all the dates and like the one that's always doing everything, because after a while, there's a hint of control in that. There's a hint of control in that, and I personally don't like to be controlled. I just like to be told, you're wrong in this situation. Here's how we can better assist this if it was to happen next time. Like, controlling. Can't do that.
So Maria says folks shoot first, ask later these days. Laugh aloud. That's not it.
No.
I agree.
I don't. Folks shoot first, like.
Yeah, shoot first and ask later.
I don't like stuff like that. That's really ghetto to me. But it's just it's a mindset of airing this bitch out.
I get what you're saying. You're not being literal when
so you don't want it to actually air this bitch out.
No.
So you say air this bitch out.
You have that air this bitch out energy.
So you want that energy,
feel
but
like that.
you do know, like, once you put out that energy, you might get that energy like that.
Nope.
Like,
So
if I go in this building
it's
talking shit, I know my boyfriend have the capabilities to be like, all right, shorty, like, what's up?
Wow.
Get ready.
Not even
But
that. You know, he just seems like somebody, like, if we're out and about, people, you know, if somebody bumps into you and they see you with your man, oh, excuse me. That's what I mean. That to me is like that air this bitch out energy, because you know what to say to you. Some people won't say excuse me if you with a guy that looks docile. You see what I'm saying?
no, because me personally, if you don't say excuse me, I'm gonna say excuse me. Like, it's like whatever he lacks, I want to have that. I want that balance.
So, you know who Sienna is? She says, yes, Tanika, everything's about balance. Men and women need to be both dominant and submissive, but choose the situations they want to allow each other to present themselves.
Yeah. Translation, choose what hill you want to die on, man. Sometimes you're going to walk out, sometimes you're going to be like, this not about to fight over. Sometimes you're like,
Definitely.
This hill we're going to die, this hill we're going to die on today.
All right, well, we're not down today. So next topic, interesting one. Does twerking on a guy in a club count as cheating?
Nope.
So you would,
It's disrespectful, but it's not cheating.
So your girl just at the dance club and you walk in and you see her twerking on a guy.
I'll be mad.
Really mad?
I'm not going to break up her because of it.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on. I don't know, y'all. That's a tricky one for me. Because I want to say it depends on if they're there, because I wouldn't want to twerk on somebody if my dude is there, but it's just like I want to keep that same energy if he wasn't. So, yeah, got me out that one.
So
I don't think it's cheating. You know.
I don't think it's cheating. So I love island men. Like I love them. And
Yeah.
You be getting lifted in carnivals.
it's an experience.
You be getting lifted in carnivals.
I don't. That's the thing. So I wouldn't mind if he has his ain't twerking. My ass don't move like that now. So I wouldn't mind if he were to do that. I don't want to be there watching it. But am I gonna? It's what you do afterwards that really matters. So if it's a nice ass on you twerking and you can't leave and be like, okay, I'm going home, and you feel like you gotta see what that ass feels like. That's right.
So you're saying you can sit there and watch?
No. I said I cannot. I don't want to see that. That's disrespectful.
you don't wanna
If
see
you
that.
feel like you can do that in front of me, you don't need to be my man.
Okay, so what if he's already there? You didn't know he's there, and you get there. And
He
you
see me, but put that shit
We're gonna cut it out.
You know, baby, it's crazy. Baby, it's crazy.
You're gonna have to moonwalk out that shit.
Marie agrees with you. She said it's not cheating, but it is disrespectful. Is it disrespectful if she doesn't know that you're there? Like if she
First off, what I don't see is not gonna kill me.
Yeah.
First off,
Okay.
if I'm not there and she's with her friends, by all means. But it's not. If I walk in there and I see you twerking or something, I'm gonna feel the type of way. I'm not gonna break up with you because of it. I'm gonna be mad. We're gonna talk about it.
Okay.
But
So
we're not for 2 hours and that's it.
If you wasn't there, you didn't see it, but your friends seen it, and they came back and told you about it.
Like, boy, mind your business, man. You can tell me some shit, but I'm the backup girlfriend.
Yeah.
I said better have a backup girlfriend for me.
Mind your business, man. People need to mind their business.
Okay. So I just thought about a little bit of flip on the situation. Bachelor parties and bachelorette parties, stuff like that. Would you want to know what's going on?
Hell no. I see the kind of things that happen to bachelorettes. I don't want to know.
And bachelor party, like I feel like
I do not want to know.
no sucky.
The hell is this?
This ain't gonna last. Get it out.
Whatever you
No.
want to do. I feel like
Have some
time.
respect.
But if you're about to marry me, like the next month or the next day or whatever it is, when do they have bachelor party? Like the day before or the weekend or whatever?
Usually that weekend before.
If you're gonna do something like that and you want to marry, I feel like the man that marries me already know. Don't fuck with me. You
No,
know?
but the thing
Don't
is-
piss me off.
But it's just like
So-
if you've been faithful this whole relationship,
Why
why
you feel
choose
like-
now
yeah.
to get it out your system? Like,
No, but the thing is, one reason I don't want to know what happened at the party, but then again, I feel like I would trust my wife to be respectful.
Right.
Have fun. I expect it. If she happens
Your
not to be
boundaries.
respectful, I still don't want to know, but I trust that she would be.
So there's a conversation leading up to this weekend. Because you said know your boundaries and stuff. So there's a conversation. You're gonna have a conversation with
I feel
your-
like you should know your boundaries
know.
already.
How long have we been together that I gotta talk to you about?
True.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
Like,
let's add a little bit more to it. You know your fiance's friends, or you know your vice versa. Like maybe they got some wild friends that you feel like
They've
they're gonna
already
have.
been around me at some point.
You
Yeah,
just
Yeah, they know
you just don't have to
so-
trust whoever you're with, man.
that's true too.
You just don't have to trust. Because personally, if I don't trust you, there's no way in hell I can do it. I don't care what's going on. I don't care how far you are. If I don't trust you, that's the beginning of the end. So, go do what you want to do, man. I trust you go have some sense to do. So, that's just it.
Okay. All right. That was a quick one. Let me see what we got in here real quick. Jimmy said if you're serious about something, maybe you should take it serious. Was he talking about the same thing?
Nobody says you have to stick off your ass, though. You know,
Okay.
have fun.
So you want to because it's supposed to be like the celebration.
Yeah, but I'm saying like you're not gonna get your last out before
No, I'm not saying
you
that.
get married.
What I'm saying, okay, so it's a lot more than twerking that goes on, obviously, but no,
Sucky.
No sucky.
You know, fuck you.
no, so everything outside of that is okay.
Because why would you want to do that with anybody but me? And you put this ring on my finger?
So if let's say,
So he's not
fucking.
fucking, he's not getting his thing sucked, he's not kissing no girl.
Let's say he did any of those things. He's going to take it to the grave or later.
I applaud that. Having a great time.
What if he does any of those things? You want to let you know or keep taking it to the grave?
No, you gotta let me know. Let me
So
give
you
me
want to
an
know.
option. If
if he did any of those
something
things.
like that, because if I don't know and you've done something like that, I don't know how to move accordingly with you moving forward. So if I have a man that can, you say that you want to be with me for the rest of your life, that's what marriage is, right? You sign a piece of paper, I can take all your money, or at least half of it, after you piss me off, and then you turn around and you do something like that, we definitely gotta get married. But at the same time, I know how to move afterwards, because I get it. I get this whole, people get drunk and you never know what people can do under the influence. However, if a man seriously wants to be with a woman, he'll have a huge level of internal respect for her being, how she feels. You can't just be outside, like Nigerians say, you can't just be disgracing me outside.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but
You
we
can't
can't
do
talk
that.
about that drunk statement though. But go on.
How drunk do you need to get at your bachelor party?
How long have you gotten in life?
What you're
I was saying,
doing?
the reason why I said we're gonna have to talk about drunk is because I don't believe in that whole I did this shit because I was drunk. But
I don't
that's
need to
say you don't
still
believe in
know.
that whole I did this
Yeah,
because I was
because
drunk.
men don't get drunk and go fuck other men, do they?
People not.
They know what they want. You got a point.
No.
So you stop. You get so drunk that you can fuck a woman, but you not that drunk to where you lose your mind, is leaving your body, and you can go fuck another man. So you know what the fuck you was doing.
Exactly.
Nah, both ways. The point is, people
What you mean
drunk.
both ways?
The thing is, when a woman says, "We just happened because I was drunk," or you go out on a night out and you have fun, you have a few drinks, and then you end up with some dude, and you go be like, "Oh, because I was drunk."
No, it's because I
Because you
wanted to
really
do
wanted
it,
to do it,
but
but
now
you got a
that I was
reason
drunk, I
to.
had an excuse.
Exactly. You have a reason not to do it to get away with it. That's how I feel about that. So, unless you're a shit-baked drunk or you blacked out, in that case it's rape. So,
Yeah, that's
it's
not
either going to rape or it's not rape, and you do what you're doing.
Okay, so Millennium Mother wants to know what happened that night. You want to know, T-Sills, what happened
Yes,
that night?
I want to know.
You want to know.
And I would want the freedom to be able to say, okay, I know this, what am I going to do with this information? Am I going to take this information and leave you, or am I going to take this information, appreciate the fact that you were truthful enough and feeling some resentment towards it to come and tell me and still marry you, and we have an understanding that, this is something that not going to happen going forward. And we just got to talk about it and see, give me the option to make that decision. Don't let me go in blindly and find out years later that you did this the day before we got married. So I definitely want to know.
I agree.
And no sucky, no.
No, such.
But you want to know what's happened.
Like,
What else?
I want to know if it's such and
If
such.
it's none of that, then you don't.
Yeah, I don't
care.
care. You can touch how many strippers you want to, just nothing going in, nothing coming out. I don't care. Because at the end of the day,
He chose to be with you.
no, I don't want to go with that he chose to be with me, but it's just I want you to have fun. I want you to be able to enjoy yourself and experience life without feeling like, oh, I'm scared to touch her, or it's your party. Do it up, boo. I've been to strip clubs with my boyfriend before. That's nothing to me. But hey, y'all, this is me, not y'all. Do as you please. But I'm just saying, for thyself, I'm okay with it.
Okay. So,
What happened?
would you want to know what happened at your fiance's bachelorette party?
Man, I don't know. Well, like I said, if I trust her, I feel like she didn't do anything she told me. I don't know, man. I really don't know. Because the reason why I said I don't know is that
If you could hide a camera in there, nobody would know it was in there. Would you put a camera in there?
That is trifling.
I'm just trying to get you the answer.
I wouldn't. But the point is, the reason why I said I don't know if I want her to tell me or not is because if she told me she did something, then you just fucked my trust, which is the biggest thing to me.
So what if she
Anything
just
else.
kept it from you? What if she did something and didn't tell you?
That's why I
That's
said I
worse.
know.
Trustful.
It's
too.
worse.
Come
I'm
on.
trusting you to go out here and do this. I'm also trusting you to tell me if you went too far.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't. If she decides to tell me, then yeah, I'll think about everything you just said. And if she doesn't tell me, I take it to the grave, then what? I don't know will kill me. Either way, I don't know.
But you got a whole bunch of witnesses there. I don't know about
You
that.
know, whatever she did, she just have that. If she's not taking it to the grave, she better hope everybody in that party takes it to the grave.
Yeah, that's
So,
a big risk to
I'm
take though.
I'm seeing a
Because
couple
I'm
people.
snitching on myself.
I'm seeing a people in the chat talking about why does he need strippers to have fun. Maria said that. Maria also said neither her or her husband had strippers. Straight up, she told her girls no, and she also told them, if y'all bring strippers, I'm walking out.
Again, my life, what
Maria is an upstanding guy. I fuck with Maria.
Maria, upstanding citizen.
I mean, that's struggling. That's fine. You don't really need strippers.
You really don't.
But I know the type of shit
Strippers
that
are fun
I got,
also.
and I know my nigga gonna want some strippers.
Yeah,
so
strippers are fun, but you don't need strippers to have fun.
You really
you don't need them, but
I think
you know
that's
the type of
like-
person that you're dealing with. It's you can't just be like, oh, he was going to the strip club before we got together. Like, no, I mean he doesn't do it now. But I'm just saying, like, you know what type of partner you have. You know your partner is not gonna have strippers. I know mine will. So
Another thing is too, we're putting so much focus on what the man is gonna do. What about what we doing?
my bitch is giving me strippers.
So, yeah, I was gonna ask, so like, have you been to a
I'm
bachelorette
getting
party
strippers.
without strippers? Or was it
I've never been.
Male strippers too.
Oh, you've never been?
I think
I'm getting me some strippers. I want them to come in as a fireman or something. You know what type of woman I am? I know what type of man he is. I want my strippers.
Exactly.
So you just want a whole bunch of thinking when it's just
Oh my
Yep, with the
God.
thong on. It's cool.
okay, much power to you.
Again, me, my preference. You guys don't have to do it. Like,
Okay. All right, so we're gonna head on to the next topic. This is an interesting one. I don't think I have an answer for it because the moment I think I have an answer for it, it turns out okay, no, I really don't. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Who gets the front seat? Your wife / girlfriend or your mom? So for females, your husband / boyfriend.
Women,
My wife
or your
women,
mom.
say women, not
My wife,
females.
my girlfriend. even.
I'm sorry, women.
My
Your
girlfriend, my
mom could
wife.
really sit in the back. Like, is it gonna kill her to sit in the back? She can sit in the back. You just spent your whole life with this man.
This is a person that brushes
your
teeth.
mother is not your wife.
Right.
People need to
She
stop
wants
with
to-
this.
Like you were just about to say, you gotta stop putting that this whole mother thing. Like I uphold her to everything. That's where some relationships get messed up because the mom wants to come in and dictate certain things because I'm his mother. Sis,
Mommy has a husband.
Yeah.
Mommy has a husband. Mommy can sit in her husband's front seat.
She's
Like,
riding with y'all.
she
no, but I'm
knows
saying like that's gonna be my husband. Why should I have to be sitting in the back because it's
So you
it's one-
would feel some type of way if you.
I mean, honestly, I'm fluid when it comes to that. But I'm just saying, in its totality, like it's just like stop trying to make your sons your husbands.
Right.
Like
I agree.
this my man. You don't be with us all the time, so you come back to him.
Let's play the scenario. We're going somewhere and we pick up his son's mom and I'm sitting in the front seat.
And I got to get out the front seat.
Carry your ass to the back. Absolutely. Like, I feel so dumb. Like, you're not gonna say nothing?
Nah,
You know?
No, but in any regard, my wife or even my girlfriend or even some girl I just see in the staying in front. My mom doesn't mind being in the back, so
So your mom wouldn't care?
in fact, my mom will go sit in the back
She'll sit in the back?
automatically.
You know that for sure?
Yeah.
I think my mom would too.
What if she was adamant about sitting in front? What if she was adamant about sitting in front?
Well, that was the thing. Me and my boyfriend's
My mom is not
mom,
big like that.
we was going back and forth on who's gonna sit in front. She's like, no, you sit in front. I'm like, no, you sit in front. So he was just like, okay, you drive, you sit in front, and I'll get in the back. So there's that. So we don't have to worry about nobody not sitting in the front. So
Nah, I mean, whoever's in the front first stays in front.
But let's say
I'm not getting out.
Exactly, I'm not getting out of the car to go move in the back of nobody. If you were in the front, when I picked her
You guys
up,
are walking
stay in
to
the
the
front.
car. So
Oh, yeah.
all three are walking
Yeah.
to the car and the mom comes, like let's just kind of do like a little plot twist here. The mom comes and she's walking to the passenger side and have the audacity to read.
Yeah, that's the thing. I know my mom. She would move there. In that situation, she would just go to the back.
That I feel like my mom would too. I feel like mothers who feel so entitled to this, to hold like the first woman in his life type of thing, that role. I just feel like there's an internal issue there that people don't usually.
Yeah, it's usually when you don't have love from your own husband.
Yeah,
You want to get
yeah.
it from your son.
my
Yeah.
baby.
Because your son already has that.
That's kind of deep. I don't think it's that deep.
I'm saying because for the mothers that go, the that do that, that's usually the problem.
Yeah.
Their husbands just don't love them like the son. That's just it.
Or maybe they
The way
just
you
love
love your
their
mom.
like son. Like,
It can be that way, but if you already hold that place in somebody's life, you're not rushing to get that from somebody else at the same time. So if you're automatically always sitting in the front seat of your man's car, do you still need to be there? You know your place as a woman in a man's life, so you don't want to feel like you had that with your son. If you already get that from your man. So I feel like those single mama's boys, you know, they're the ones who really feel like, I need to be here, and you just got here, sis, sit in the back.
I'm gonna be here regardless.
Right,
You know, I'm temporarily, let me temporarily sit in the front.
So I know you're fluid. Would you feel a certain way if your man was like, yo, you know,
That just tells you what kind of man you're dealing with.
Yeah,
Straight up,
and
first
that
off,
goes
like you gotta
to
go to
the-
the back. You scared of your mom now?
It's not gonna tell me to get it back.
Why I don't date Nigerian men, because they're too much like, no, they are too much into their mothers. Like they adore their moms. They feel like they want, and they kind of put their wives on, like they put their moms on a higher pedestal than the women that they're with. So I just don't really like that. Everything the mom says goes. Some Nigerian men and some different tribes and stuff, their mother can literally dictate if he's even gonna be with that woman or not.
That's usually the family. It's not just the mom's final call.
yeah. So
I said what I said.
So Loretta says a man shall leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife. So I guess.
The Bible as it's well.
Yes, that's a Bible. I'm not sure what
Yeah,
Bible is, but that's
Bible.
a Bible quote. So, I guess we see where.
So what about the Muslims in the house? Any Muslim in the house? That does not apply to Muslims. Go on.
So I see a lot of Middle Eastern cultures.
Putting their wives in the back seat. I be seeing that.
Yeah.
And
They do a lot of stuff. They do a lot of stuff to
they
their wives, though.
Say again?
That's it. They do a lot of different
They
stuff.
don't
to their
value
wives.
women.
Yeah.
That's why I say it depends on the type of man that you want, the type of culture that
Well,
you want.
we don't know what that
to
means though.
We don't, but at the same time, where do we live? Where do we grow up? We grew up here. You know.
Because we're talking about cultures. Like, I know for a lot of Middle Eastern cultures, when a man walks ahead of the wife, she walks behind them. Or like, that's just how they are.
They don't
So
really
it's just-
value women. They don't.
We're assuming that, but we
Yeah.
don't know exactly what that means. Could he's walking in front?
To make sure
Just,
nothing happens.
yeah.
Just like in certain
Yeah.
places, like men, when we're walking on the street or the sidewalk, a man will stand closest to the
road,
street.
right, yeah.
And they usually say if a man doesn't stand closest, he don't really give a damn about you.
Yeah.
So
That's optional.
can you really say like it's like different? Because sometimes it's universal when it comes to women. Women have always been placed below a man. You see what I'm saying? So.
Well, yeah, go on.
It's true. Women have been placed below men. For one, women get paid less. Another thing is like women are the ones that's usually leading and like being the victims in domestic violence. Men already overpower women strength wise. So I feel like, you know, we don't necessarily know what what their motive is behind putting their wives in the back, or maybe they still don't even want women to show them. Some of these Middle Eastern women be fine as hell, like look like they got a lot done and everything underneath all their hijab and you know, I don't know what the hijab is the top.
That's the top.
Yeah, they'll be beautiful as hell under that. And so they try to hide that. It's like men have the ability to do anything. And then women are kind of like closed up. Women can't be sexually fluid if they want to. They can't fuck mad men if they want to because, oh, she a hoe. And you know what I hate too? Is that whole key and lock terminology. One key, and it's always a fuck nigga. Six bitches at one time that'll be like, oh, woman, what's the use of having a lock at every key? Oh, sir, shut the fuck up. Like, shut up. You know, it's always an ashy nigga. So I feel like put your woman on a higher pedestal. If this is a woman that you really want to be with, put her to a high standard. Make your mama sit in the back.
How about you just break all the pedestals and just anyway?
See, you can say I don't really agree.
So, a day Allah says, I feel like if your significant other is big tripping about the seat, maybe that's not a great thing. So if your significant other is like tripping about, I guess going to the back.
Like, of all people to my territory,
that's
my mom going to my territory on?
that shit trickles down. It's like even if that shit is blood from the beginning. Because if you put your mama by, I don't want to say before me, but
I mean, think about it.
are you gonna do that when it comes to our
here's the thing.
kids?
Don't
Like,
women actually want to be with the man that actually values his mother? Because that says a lot about how he's gonna
Value and having like a
Not
slight.
necessarily.
This is,
Valuing
I mean,
her is two totally different things.
wait a second.
Valuing your mother and having a slight obsession with wanting to keep her.
We're talking about value. We're not talking about slight.
I don't see. That's why I said it's two different things. So if you feel like you asked the question, you just said, what did you just say? Don't women want a man who, values his mom? There is a slight, there's a thin line between valuing her and being obsessed with pleasing her. Should she be pleased? You value your mother. Your ass ain't walking. You still in the car. Sit in the back. It's that simple. You're not. If you didn't value her, okay, you're causing so much trouble. Stay your ass at home. That's there's no value there. You don't feel like some men get so irritated they be like, both of y'all can walk or catch an Uber and I'm gonna drive and y'all figure it out wherever y'all get to. But if you value your mother, you can explain to her. I feel like those types of relationships, you just already know what type of man you have if you further along to 6 months down the line to 6 months plus, and your mom feels like she needs to sit in the front seat. That's too much. Like if she feels like she needs to be, like what's wrong with your legs? Are we in a coupe?
I mean, but then again, is this the battle you want to fight?
It's not.
I mean, yeah, obviously,
Like that.
first off, it speaks to what
yes,
kind of
I'm gonna
man
fight it.
Right.
you know, but
You do.
it speaks to the man you're with, it speaks to your mother, your future mother-in-law. What?
I'm listening.
Yeah, first of all, it speaks to the man you're with, it speaks to your mother-in-law. You have to make that decision. You want it, is this the battle you want it? Because that will grow to bigger things.
Yes,
When you
that's
get
why
married.
I want to nip it in the bud. You
But
didn't
that
get it.
that nip in the bud, is that-
Absolutely not.
Now, dipping in the butt, is that the fight you want to be having?
Yes, that's the fight.
You gotta go to the back.
If I have a fight in the beginning, that will stop. That will alleviate me from having others in the end. Yes, I'm gonna fight that.
You think that
Yes, because she knows where I stand when it comes to me and my man.
Right.
That's why I'm not gonna let her. Oh, she got away with letting me sit in the front. Oh, let me try this. Let me try that. No, we're not doing that.
Now she
So yeah, like no.
Now she can't choose clothes.
Yeah, no, I'm not
but then
doing
again, it
that.
depends on how you nip it in the bud, because if you start that animosity between you and your mother-in-law,
But see,
you don't want that in marriage.
And if my man is not man enough to say, hey, look, this is where you stand, this is where you stand, then we don't need to be together. Because if you can't differentiate me from your mother, there's no point in me being with you. Go be with your mama.
I don't have nothing else to say about that. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Like seriously.
You guys feel
So you have.
But that's me, y'all.
Another thing with you said, is that a fight you want to have? Sometimes it's not always a fight. Sometimes it's a simple conversation.
Yes.
And if you're with somebody who can have these conversations and not feel like, oh, she's nagging, oh, she bitching,
Yeah,
oh, she's
she attacking me.
Men love gaslighting women when they express themselves. And it becomes like a thing where, oh, I just don't want to hear this shit. Women's feelings are valid. Like if I feel a certain type of way and I address that to you, you shouldn't feel like I'm nagging. I'm telling you how I feel. Let's address this shit now and move on. It's simple.
But we have to be mindful when it comes to addressing stuff, because a lot of times we'll address it, but we don't get a resolution. So it happens
Yeah.
again, and then you have to address it again. So resolution.
That's why I want to
So
resolve
what's
it.
an ideal resolution?
We talk about it, I let him know how I feel, and then he explains to me how he feels about it. I'm telling him I'm sitting in the front, or tell him this is how I feel. When I'm explaining how I feel, nigga, you know I want to sit in the front. That's my
no negotiation, no compromise. I'm saying
But what do we have to compromise?
Right, I'm just listening.
Are you sleeping with your mother? Are you dating your mother? Are you with your mother in an intimate way? It's just, that's like that whole conversation, who eats food first? The man or the kids or the wife or
Everybody.
So here's my thing,
we gonna say grace at the same time.
why does it really matter who's in front?
it shows it shows position.
It shows position.
I think it shows a lot of position. When you're moving forward with your wife, you're literally leaving your family behind the passenger seat. Behind. So I feel like with that too, you have to understand as a woman, as a mom, like, I have a son. When he gets a girlfriend, am I gonna feel away? I don't know yet, because he's 4. But I probably will. But you see the shit that I'm talking about, it's recorded. So I can always
Like, I feel some type of, like, I don't feel away
even with my brother got married, and my mom was like, "Oh, you said you was gonna give me a ring." He told her that when he was like 5, and so my mom is like, she still has this like animosity towards him, and I buy it. Like, yeah. So and I didn't want to put her out there. Like, it's too late. Like that's just one of those things. Like women feel they always want to feel first in a man's life, whether it's their child or this. You can't always be first. That's why you have to have a solid relationship. That's why I don't feel like women should be single mothers of boys. They shouldn't have to be by themselves so they can get that love, because it's still masculine energy from a son. It is. My son is 4 and he's very like, y'all see how he be walking around here with his chest all out and stuff. He's still masculine. I don't want love from that boy. I want love from my man. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want to feel like I need to come into his relationship. Because like you said, when they're not getting that love at home from their men, they feel that they want to capture that, and show another woman like, this is where I stand. And he's like, sit down and get in the bag.
Y'all heard that, get in the bag. Okay, so we have one more topic. It was actually proposed by one of our chat viewers. Cynthia says, open relationships. Would you have one? Have you been one? Have you been in one, and why?
Why you looking at me? It's enough for me. I can't do it. I can't sit and watch,
What's that?
Nobody said you had to watch.
What are you talking about?
That's what she thinks it is. No, that's not what it is.
Open relationship, like, it's hard because I don't like to share. Like, I want that free time to be me time, or me time, but not y'all time.
Okay.
I hope that didn't go over.
But what was this?
That's fucking.
But that wasn't the question.
But you said open relationship.
Yeah, open
So
relationship.
if I'm in a relationship with this person and I'm in a relationship with that person, somebody's fucking me.
Of course.
Okay, but there are different types of relationships. You
Yeah,
can
that's
have
what I
intimate
wanted to-
relationships. You can have, we're just going out to dinner type relationships. We just hanging
I said
out.
me.
Huh?
Me.
What about you?
But she not. Somebody ought to be giving me the work.
Okay, so
I don't want to go to sleep thinking, oh, he might be with her doing her. No, I
Okay.
can't do that.
you can't do open relationships.
Nah. As fluid as I am.
As
No.
fluid as you are.
No.
Okay, so I was literally just having this conversation last night at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I got here on time. I had a conversation yesterday where I was explaining to a homegirl of mine about these different dynamics of relationships. Now, it took me a while to actually truly learn what an open relationship is, and to not have like such a negative stigma or think like negative connotations about being open with people. So for me personally, I'm a strictly monogamous person. But after things that I've seen a lot of my married friends cheat. I've seen a lot of my homegirls dip in and out and sleep with married men. But I feel, if you feel that you need to be out in the streets, why not slide into a relationship that gives you the ability to do so? It's not for everybody. It's not for me. But have I thought about it? Yes, I've thought about it, because of the fear of somebody literally going behind my back and cheating. We as women, we overthink things as it is. And I also feel like, what goes through my mind when I feel like, oh, this nigga cheated on me? Is her ass bigger than mine? Is her stomach flatter than mine? It's probably not, but I still think about those things. I still think like, what did I do to make him do that? Why? And I asked a question on Facebook last Sunday, and I asked, why do women cheat? And I'm reading through the why do men cheat? And I'm reading it from men, and it's just like breaking my heart, thinking like, damn, somebody could really do this to me. Why not get into a relationship? Again, this is not for me, but I'm thinking like, is this something that I would be interested in? So, a relationship where you're open to talk, or even having these types of discussions. And sometimes open relationship is just like where you're open to exploring different things. Not like, oh, I need to fuck somebody. And a lot of the men in the comments were saying, sometimes a woman may give a man 80% and he's cheating because of the 20% that he's not getting. And this ashy nigga is only giving this woman 70% of what she needs. They got the audacity, or he's not even giving her 70%, has the audacity to go cheat. You only giving me 30%. 30%, and I'm not getting the 70, but you cheating because of a little funky 20% that you feel like I'm not giving you. I feel like there's a problem with that. So having these types of open relationships, it allows people to explore different areas of themselves. So I have a friend, and he's taught me, like, he's polyamorous, and his wife are polyamorous, and he has explained to me how you shouldn't possess people, and you should basically explore and experience. And he taught me that a couple years ago, and that's when I started learning what polyamory was. So he goes on dates, she goes on dates. They come back and he was telling me at one point, she gets off by me telling her about a date that I went on. They're just into things like that. Could I do it? Hell no.
They obviously have a level of trust.
They do, and they're so mature in it. Like, she posted, I follow both of them on Instagram. She posted something, she's, yes, I'm polyamorous. No, it's not always about sex. Yes, I feel like I can love more than one person, because niggas is out there cheating. Men will say, I don't want my woman fucking somebody because XYZ. It's the same niggas with the all the keys to these locks that's unlocking a bunch of locks, but say, like, there's what good is a lock when all keys can open it? They're the same ones, but they go out and they cheat and they cheat. I feel like cheating is an act of disloyalty. It's an act of being dishonest. So those types of men who feel like they cannot keep, if they need something else, they should explore that realm of being open in an open relationship.
How long has your friend been with this?
Probably like 20 years or something. He's old. He's like 50.
They've been together for 20 years?
I don't know how long they've been together, but I know he's been polyamorous pretty much all his life. But then there are some guys too. There's another guy that I know, he considers himself polyamorous, but he's a hoe. And he's just somebody that wants this. And he's really small, he's really short, so I feel like he has like that little man light skin complex, to where he got with this one girl. She ain't cute, so he gonna try to be going out and about and fucking all these other different women. But he puts his fantasies under the guise of polyamory. Polyamory, I feel like you have to be mature for that, to have that type of relationship. You have to be mature, because you can't go back and say, well, who you fucked today? You get off work, you put your stuff up, who you was fucking. You have to be mature in a sense that you can handle the thought of your significant other being with someone else.
So knowing what you know now, would you be in a relationship?
Me too. I don't like sharing. I'm with my good sis here. I don't like to share, but has a thought crossed my mind to prevent being hurt? It's just emotionally, I can't handle something like that. I'd rather be single and I'm out there spreading seeds just like a nigga. But since I don't have something I can spread my seeds with, I just gotta be out there doing whatever works best for me. So I've been single for a while, and I don't think I can deal with like the heartache of just finding out that somebody that I put so much of my trust in, like, to open your body to somebody and your heart to somebody, your mind, your soul, there has to be a strong level of trust there. Some people just open up and they just trust in any type of random Tom, Dick, and Harry. But for a woman to really open herself up to a man, there has to be trust there. And if you violate that trust, I'm gonna be shattered. I'm gonna be hurt. Like, I can think about it right now and cry on cue.
You're looking at it as a route to not being hurt? Like, that could be either.
I feel like a lot of women use that as a mechanism to protect themselves when it comes to looking at other girls' asses while they're with their man. And like, hey man, look at that ass. Are you saying that because you like to look at her ass, or are you saying that because you know your nigga gonna look anyway?
Right. See, that's another thing too. There are women who have no attraction. Like the chick I was talking to last night, she doesn't have any attraction to women. I find women to be extremely beautiful.
I love women.
Right. And I can sit and look at their bodies all day. I follow this Dominican doctor, and he just be wielding these bad body built girls up. And I love watching natural. Me too. But, I can look at it. Most men can't look at other men because that's just a thing that they just can't do that. But there are some women out there who find other women attractive. Mm-hmm. They can do that. They would like to explore. Like this situation with the really small guy. I don't want to
talking about polyamorous?
No, we're talking about
I was trying to go from another bed,
but my bad. So I'm trying to think what I'm trying to say. Y'all threw my whole mind out. But I just feel like women, not all women are attracted to other women, but I do feel like sometimes women do say, oh, I'm gonna have a threesome, and they pretend to want to be with another woman just to please their man.
And I was that at one point, never had a threesome, but I'm saying, like, I was so so engulfed in, oh, I don't want to be cheated on, so let me introduce my man to this other woman so that can cure that desire for now. But then when I sat back and looked at the situation in its totality, would my nigga allow me to bring another nigga in here to make sure I don't cheat?
Nope.
So I was like, no, like I'm not finna bring another woman in here because you don't have the respect enough not to fuck somebody else. So at the end of the day, we just gonna put all of that out. If you wanna go be with somebody, do it in its totality. You're gonna lose everything that I do for you, like all of that shit's gonna be gone. So if your desires are that peaked, go be with them. Go fuck as many as you want to, but don't call me after you're done.
Sir, you've been quiet this whole time. What's going on?
I'm listening.
Oh, you listen? Okay.
Yeah.
You ain't got no smart notes in your head.
What was the question?
Well, relationship. Have you been in one? Would you?
Yeah, I've been in one.
You've been in one relationship?
How was that?
When I was much younger.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was more of it was because I was dating a doctor, or well, she was in med school. I'm always in school.
Busy.
So she was always busy, so we had that discussion, and she was okay with me meeting other people, or her meeting with other people, and it worked. We both talked about it before it happened. I mean, other people that was around me didn't. I guess because they did not know what it was. She used to get like calls about what I'm doing and all that. Or I think one time we went to a concert and some girl was trying to act stupid and I came in there and she was like, yeah, I already know about you, because I tell her what I'm doing. So I've been in there. It worked until she moved out of town to continue schooling or whatever.
So she preferred you actually telling her about.
Yeah, we still have random conversations. Let's say we go to the club or something and she sees a girl looking at me and I'll tell what story is. We'll talk about it and we'll laugh about it and whatever.
Were you open to her telling you about her interactions with other men?
Yeah, I was, I mean, it was just, sometimes you're like, oh, but then again, I got away very quickly, so it's like, at the end of the day, we knew we talked about it, we knew what we were doing, we knew what we signed up for.
Okay. Would you try it again?
I haven't tried it since her, no.
Well, are you open to trying it again?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Why?
I've grown a lot since then, so now I feel like I'm getting to the point where I'd rather settle and build a family and all that. So
You could settle in a polyamorous.
I don't want to settle in a polyamorous.
You don't want to do it?
No, that was just a stage in my life. That's just what that was.
Okay. I respect that. Anything else?
I'm not mature enough for that.
You can't do it.
Yeah, I just want to say, do it. So, who knows, in 3 years, I might change my mind. All the shit that I said. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, so there's that.
I think everybody should at least know what it is, as opposed to just being oblivious to what being open really means. I feel like everybody should at least know, because I was completely against it. And I felt like, no, y'all just be wanting to fuck on other women and da 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 da. I feel like educating yourself as to what it means to be open, or what it means to be poly, or what it means to be able to put yourself or your feelings and emotions in different people. I feel like that is an interesting conversation to have.
So when you brought this up initially, I guess you could say I was ignorant to what an open relationship is, but if you think about it, you ever heard the saying of oh, I guess you got a nigga for this, you got a nigga for that? It's not bad. But the thing is that there ain't nobody. But now that you put it into perspective that, I could do that, then I'm just sure.
She's gonna try it. She's open.
You like it right now?
She's open to it.
You got a nigga for your nails. You got a nigga that can bring you food. You got a nigga that dress nice.
Let's be completely honest. When you're with someone, they don't satisfy you 100%. They're going to miss out on something, and you're going to look over it and be like, you know what? I love all of these aspects about them, so I'm just letting them other ones that he lacking and slide.
So on that note, we're gonna continue that topic next week. Make sure y'all tune in. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe. The link is right here. cTalkTV, real people, real conversations. We thank you for your input on this. Y'all have a great time. Next week.
Peace out.
Peace.